Russia says the UN-backed tribunal has no jurisdiction, but Greenpeace says bail has already been granted to 18 members of the Arctic Sunrise crew, and all but one of the 30 activists are expected to be released by the end of the weekend. They were picked up during a protest at a Russian oil rig in September. They've been ordered to stay in Russia to face charges of hooliganism.
Frank Hewitson and Ian Rogers are the fourth and fifth of the Britons being detained here in St. Petersburg to be released on bail. Only one, Phil Ball, still remains behind bars.
It was this protest at Russia's only offshore oil rig in the Arctic that led to their detention. Special forces landed on their ship. It was a strong first response. But locking up 30 activists from 18 different countries led to a fierce diplomatic row, and the Kremlin seems to have decided that with the Winter Olympics in Russia just around the corner, it was best to end the imprisonment now. Though President Putin is still very critical of Greenpeace's actions. Some of them climbed onto the platform, others attacked our Coast Guard. They practically rammed their boats, he told a group of Russian writers.
In the German city of Hamburg, the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea supported a Dutch move to order the provisional release of the Greenpeace ship Arctic Sunrise and its crew.
The Russian Federation shall immediately release the vessel Arctic Sunrise and all persons who have been detained upon the posting of a bond or other financial security by the Netherlands, which shall be in the amount of €3,600,000 to be posted with the Russian Federation in the form of a bank guarantee.
We are happy that in fact the tribunal has ruled in our favor. We have always maintained that our activists acted peacefully, they acted legally, and that they should never have been in prison in the first place.
You're live on Sky News. How did it feel to be out?
Very, very good. This was the longest morning of my life, I think. It was. I thought they'd forgotten about me after breakfast, but it's good to be outside and see the sky for the first time for a while.
Your family, your friends are watching this back in the UK. What do you want to say to them?
Just to everyone who supported me and the rest of the group, keep fighting. We're not free yet. This is the first step. It's a glimmer of justice, but it's not finished, so keep fighting.
What has this been like for you?
Tough, really tough, for everyone, I'm sure. More than anything, it's the isolation, not being able to speak to anyone, not being able to speak your common language. Being trapped in a cell for 23 hours a day is something I don't ever want to experience again, and you know, there are a lot of people inside who have to carry on doing that, so I'm glad to be out.
Alexandra Harris was one of the youngest to be held.
The first week it was hard, really hard.
Thank you, bye-bye.
It was nerve-wracking, not knowing what was going on. I was in a cell on my own, it was scary.
Then came Frank Hewitson from London, engineer Ian Rogers from Devon, and Anthony Perrott from South Wales. But the last British man, Phil Ball, is back in prison tonight. He's been told he will be granted bail, but not until next week.
It was a crime against public order. Public order is not within the competence of the coastal state.
If convicted, the 30 could face up to 7 years in prison. None of the activists have Russian visas, and it is not clear if they're allowed to leave the country. Meanwhile, the International Maritime Tribunal Friday ordered Russia to release the Greenpeace ship, the Arctic Sunrise.
The 30 arrested in September's Greenpeace protest, in which activists tried to scale a Russian oil rig in the Arctic, could be jailed for up to 7 years if convicted.